Hey team, I hope you're all doing well. So today's topic, I want to go over what is a good VO2 max. And your VO2 max, like I mentioned before, is your body's maximum oxygen uptake. So what is a good VO2 max for most elite runners, male runners? Most elite athletes are up around 85 milliliters per kilogram. I mean, these are athletes that can run at very fast, aggressive paces but also have the ability to create very small amounts of lactic acid buildup. For females, a lot of elite level females have anywhere from around 75 to 77 milliliters per kilogram is their VO2 max. So we improve our VO2 max by running at around 95 to 100% of our maximum heart rate. So even if you're doing threshold training, if you're doing tempo runs, you're running at long periods of time at your lactate threshold, where you're running anywhere from around 85 to 89% of your max heart rate, you also improve your body's VO2 max by running at those particular efforts as well. You're not going to improve on VO2 max capability by running easy aerobic mileage. Yes, you're definitely going to improve your body's ability to burn fat and build your endurance. But the faster we run, that's how you improve upon that. Okay, so a good VO2 max for, say like a 25-year-old male might be around, for an average 25-year-old male might be around 42 to 47 milliliters per kilogram. For a female, for most average level, average females, it's going to be anywhere from around, it might be around from 32 to 37 milliliters per kilogram. So again, each athlete, depending on how fit they are, is going to have varying degrees of VO2 max capability. Okay, so again, the faster we run, the more anaerobic it is, the more oxygen is required. So to get yourself to be able to sustain race pace for longer periods of time to improve your body's lactate tolerance, you have to train at your VO2 max at least once per week. And for most athletes, one VO2 max workout per week, one tempo run is essential in terms of improving your body's ability to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. And if you look at any of these world-class runners, they make it look easy for a reason, okay? They're running anywhere from 35 to 40% of their weekly volume at or below their anaerobic threshold. Okay, so when you're running at your anaerobic threshold, you're running at the point where lactic acid starts to build up at a higher level. Okay, when you're running at your VO2 max, that's training at extremely high anaerobic aggressive type efforts. Okay, so what is a good VO2 max? That is, you're going to see in most cases for males, it's going to be around in the mid to low 80s. For females, it'll be to the mid to high 70s. And again, there are some athletes out there, both male and female, that have lower VO2 max scores that still produce world-class performances on the track or on the roads. Okay, this is just one of many factors that go into running success. Okay, there are athletes, other middle distance runners as well as long distance runners who have lower VO2 max scores that again still produce world-class times that match up to or faster than athletes that have very, very high VO2 max levels. Okay, so again, it really comes down to how well you've trained anaerobically going into your race to improve your body's VO2 max, but also it's accumulation of a lot of your training. Okay, you have to be consistent over a longer period of time. VO2 max and your ability to run at very high intensities and to be able to lessen the effects of high lactic acid buildup only comes from doing those speed workouts, those long, very long tempo runs, those harder, fast-paced, varied pace long runs I talk about. If you're just running long, slow, and easy, you're not going to improve your body's VO2 max. You're not going to improve your ability to run for a longer period of time at lactate threshold effort either. Okay, so you have to both run easy and relax for your long runs, but also every other weekend should be a varied pace long run. Okay, where you're mixing sprint paces, you're running at threshold effort for a portion of your long run. You're jumping into VO2 max efforts where you're running down toward your mile to 5K race pace for a certain amount. It might be for a couple miles or for a few kilometers during that long run. Those types of workouts, coupled with doing hill repetitions, maybe it's repeat 100 to 300 meter hill sprints where you're running all out as hard as you can on the way up and jogging on the way down. It might be fartlek workouts where you're running hard for 1 minute hard, 1 minute of hard running, followed by 1 minute of easy running. Any type of track workout or any type of road workout where you're running anywhere from 95 to 100% of your max heart rate is going to help you to improve your VO2 max. So, but don't get so caught up. It's normal to ask what is a good VO2 max, but looking back to in my own career, there's so many factors that went into me running at a professional level. Okay. Yes, I was always focused on speed development, working on training at VO2 max, but I was also working on slowing down on easy days, jogging on those recovery days so that I could bounce back and continue to train hard over and over again. There's a training concept called super compensation. I'll leave it here on the screen. Definitely check that out because most of your competition has probably never even heard of that word. Okay, it's very, very important to jog and take it easy after each hard workout that you do and give yourself sufficient time to recover, because there is a point of diminished returns where you can only push your body hard so many times before you start to slow down and not make improvement. Okay, so the only way you're going to continue to succeed over a long period of time is to make sure that you're paying attention to those other tactics that maybe your competition isn't paying attention to. Okay, proper pacing in the race. Don't try to win your race in the first few miles of the race. If it's a longer race, always focus on a negative split. Okay, focus on running the second half of your race faster than you run the first half. Okay, be patient with yourself when you're training to improve your VO2 max, because it's not a process that happens overnight. You need a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks for your body to adapt to each hard workout that you're doing. So that's why I stress a longer buildup is better than a shorter buildup. You're not cramming your fitness. You're not just jumping into doing VO2 max workouts. And again, examples of VO2 max workouts might be, for me, if I was out on the track, I'd be doing a VO2 max workout. For me would be 16 200 meter repeats on the track with, say, 30 to 45 seconds of rest in between each one. Okay, again, you're not going to do that immediately. You might need, in the early stages of your buildup, you might need 2 minutes for recovery between each one of those hard 200 meter reps. And your paces during those 200 meter reps are going to be much slower early on when you're not as anaerobically fit, and you're going to need more rest. But when you become more anaerobically fit, you can run those 200 meter reps much, much faster, and you need much less rest in between each one of those reps. And again, what I love about the V.O2 platform that I use with my coaching services, it helps you focus on what pace you need to be running at each, at your current level of fitness. So as you get fitter, your VDOT scores improve, and your paces per mile, paces per kilometer are adjusted according to your fitness level. So it's natural that your VO2 max is going to be much lower when you're not very anaerobically fit. And then once you've trained yourself and you've prepared well, and you've gotten in great anaerobic shape, and you've also gotten in great aerobic shape, your VO2 max scores will significantly rise at the end of a training buildup. Okay, it's natural, again, after you've stopped training and you've relaxed for a few weeks, a couple weeks, for it to lower back down again, okay? So again, we improve our VO2 max by hard anaerobic workouts, training at very aggressive efforts, a few seconds to a few minutes, but you're running anywhere from 95 to 100% effort. Do that once per week, at least one VO2 max workout per week. So I hope this is helpful in terms of what is a good VO2 max. Again, it's just one component of several factors that go into a running success. Okay, you can have a very high VO2 max and still not run extremely fast. You can also have a very low VO2 max and run much faster than somebody that has a high VO2 max. And in most cases, those athletes that have those very high VO2 max efforts or scores are able to run very, very fast and to be able to efficiently and effectively clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. So again, it takes time to improve your VO2 max, but also know that it's also the other things that you do. Your mental rehearsal, your hydration practices, the amount of sleep you get, those types of areas of your training will also factor into your running success. So if you can, like this video, share it with other athletes. Feel free to leave me a comment below. I will definitely reach back out to you. And I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.